there's a different perspective to dating that I don't think is spoken about as much. And so, if you are still single, if you're in the dating world, whether or not you are open or closed to dating in general, this video is for you. I'm going to do a raw chicken take on a different perspective to dating. Now, here's the thing: dating can be hard. It can be, especially if we're talking about dating in the context of finding love. Hell, I found love wherein my wife, like, she's not from the tri-state area. I'm born and raised in Jersey City, and my wife is from the LA County area. So I found love from across the country. Okay, so if there's anyone that's going to say that finding love is easy, no, I am a living example that finding love is hard. But dating can be easy, right? Finding a date, finding someone to go out with and hang out and get to know them over some coffee or over some drinks, like, that's easy. Especially living in the Jersey City area, it meant that there's a lot of diversity in Jersey City, first of all, but New York City was right across the waters. So that was like my playground during the single days. So now, talking about this different perspective to dating, okay? Of course, when you are dating someone or you're in the dating stage in general, the point is to get to know the other person, right? But as you're getting to know somebody else, you may not realize it at the moment or at the time, but in fact, you're also actually getting to know yourself better too. Let me give you an example. You'll go on a date, you're gonna meet this girl or guy for the first time, and they're gonna be talking about the things that they like to do. Oh yeah, you know what? I actually like waking up at like 9 in the morning to go for a quick run. You'll think to yourself when you go home, like, do I like going on runs too? And I'm me, no, I'm not really a runner. And as you're getting to know that person, immediately you've already screened it in your mind whether or not that's something that you like. Oh yeah, you know what? I love cats. I don't really like dogs so much. Whoa, red flag. I'm a big dog person. You know what I mean? I don't know if we're gonna get along. So what I'm trying to say here is, even though the principle of dating is to get to know the other person, you are actually also getting to know yourself better. And so, if you're watching right now and you feel like you're in that position where you are scared to get back into the dating scene because you may have been heartbroken, you're scared because you don't know what the dating world is like nowadays, here's my advice: just start dating. Just go out there, because you're not going to know what you like or don't like based on your thoughts, right? You're not going to know unless there's that external factor that's really going to help show you what you do like or not. And I can give you so many different examples. There was one time where I had gone on a date with a girl that she liked to sing. And before going on dates with her, I thought it would have been so cool to date someone who could sing. And I realized, like, I want to say it was probably our first or second date, out of nowhere she would go in regular conversation, and then out of nowhere she would start singing. And initially I thought that was cool, but after a couple of times that happening, like, no, not for me. There was another time where I went on this date with a girl, and I was hoping that it'd be cool to date someone that was very much like me, and in the context of being comical or having like that kind of sense of humor. I have like corny dad jokes and all that kind of stuff. Going on a date with someone that is just like that, not for me. It's just, and it's what I'm trying to say here is that the experience about dating that I don't think people talk that much about is that as you're dating somebody and getting to know somebody else, you are also getting to know yourself better. And that should be a good enough reason for you to go out and date. It should be a good enough reason for you to not be scared anymore, because you're everyone is doing that same thing. They're also trying to figure out what they like and don't like. And you're not going to figure that out just by like hanging around and just, staying low, playing safe, all that kind of stuff. I've made a couple of videos about dating in general, but more recently, I made a video about my philosophy of what life is about, and I'm basically talking about in that video that life is about experiences and that you're meant to experience it. Dating helps with that philosophy. Getting to know somebody and helps you get to know yourself. I mean, it's an experience nonetheless. One of the things that I really treasured and valued about dating, especially in the Jersey City, New York City area, I got I have gone on so many dates with so many different girls of different backgrounds and different cultures. I got to learn about what the culture was like in Australia, for example, or I got to learn what the culture was like over in Italy. Like these are things that you can definitely go and see when you travel there, but it is also a unique experience when you get to know it firsthand from somebody else. When they get to tell you, or they get to show you, or they get to bring you around and give you like those types of insights. Like I love those types of stories and that part about getting to know somebody. So my takeaway is if you're in the single stages right now and you're open to dating, or even if you're close to dating, hopefully this message resonates with you, that it's an opportunity to get to know yourself better, right? Of course you can go out on your own and figure things out. If you like doing hikes, or if you like going on a brunches, or if you like dogs versus cats, whatever the case is, it does add a different element when somebody helps you get there, and dating is one way to do that. Now, if you are in this dating phase and you're trying to figure out what to do, my advice, coming from the Jersey City, New York City area especially, get all the dating apps that you can, because I, at the time when I started using dating apps, that was probably around like 2013, and in that time frame, it was still kind of like taboo. Dating apps weren't really like a big thing, but I used it anyway. When I became single after, because I've had a couple of relationships where some were serious, some were in general, but it was around the 20, when I want to say 15, 16 to 2018 area, like around that time frame, I went all out. I went all out. Like before I met my wife, I basically was on Match, I was on Hinge, I was on Tinder, I was on Bumble, I was on all of them, and I just went all out. And there was the joy behind it. I mean, let me take a step back. It was a lot of work, like anything else. It takes work, right? Right, but it was an experience because I got to meet so many different people. I got to get to know a lot of different girls, and it was a nice thing to be able to experience life through that lens. And ultimately, I got to know myself better, because by the time I met my wife, I'll tell you this, I was the best version of myself. I was the best version of myself. So, for you sitting at home, if you're listening to this message right now, this is my way of saying download that app, whether it's Match, Hinge. I don't even know what apps are there nowadays, but whatever that app is, explore it and don't take it so seriously. Dating came in phases for me, or waves rather, right? There were times where I was all about it, I went all out, and then like maybe after like a 3 month stretch, more or less, let's say, I would take a break because, like I said, it does take work and it does get tiring, and there's nothing wrong with that. You go at your own pace, but I wouldn't want the message here for you to want to be home and like stay away from dating, or like to think that you shouldn't be doing all that. Like, I don't see why not. You know what I mean? I think meeting people is fun, networking is fun, and at the end of the day, you're going to get an experience out of it one way or another. I have so many stories of good dates and bad dates. I have one good story of where I got ghosted and how I turned it out into be like an excellent night nonetheless. But uh, more on that later. But anyway, that is my raw chicken take on a different perspective to dating, and I hope you liked it. If this message resonated with you, let me know where you're at in the dating phase. Let me know what you're doing right now. What's the norms of today's dating age? Because it's been a while for me, so I am curious to learn more. My name is Chess, and I'll catch you next time on Wing Theory.